yesterday how West Midlands Euro MEP, Nikki Sinclaire met, or was about to meet, the Football League officials to try and get more details about why they've approved plans for the Sky Blues to move to Northampton for the next 3 years, possibly 5 years. She did say on the show yesterday she'd update us this morning on how things went, and true to her word, Nikki Sinclaire joins us on the show. Nikki, thanks for being with us this morning again.
Good morning.
How did things go yesterday then? Tell us about the meeting.
I came out of the meeting frustrated as a football fan, actually. I honestly thought, maybe naively thought, that the Football League would care about the fans' position, and I came away thinking that they didn't really care about the fans. I think they would refute that. They say they do consider the fans, but I saw little evidence of that yesterday. They failed to convince me that they could adequately administer a fit and proper test. They said they had to make the decisions that they made out of necessity with 3 weeks to the start of the season. I pointed out to them, of course, that this issue has been going on for, quite a way, so they could have made these decisions a while ago, or made decisions a while ago. They said they've had no direct contact with ACL, that they've done nothing other than publicly call for ACL and CCU to talk. I put the point, couldn't have they, before they've made this decision about Northampton, called for CCU to go into mediation with ACL, and they said that wasn't their job.
When they said, we'll go back on some of those points now, but I mean, when they said, Nikki, that they have done nothing other than call for the two sides to get together, I mean, what was the tone of that comment? I mean, was that, and they were satisfied with what they'd done? Were they slightly ashamed of what they've done?
Well, it was as if they were it was a bit of like a jobs worth type thing. It was saying, well, we have to follow UK company law, we have to follow our own rules.
But as you pointed out yesterday on the show, you put to the meeting yesterday, by the sound of it, they didn't follow their own rules, did they?
Well, exactly, but they said it was a necessity. They said, with 3 weeks ago, the number one rule, really, for any football club in the Football League is to fulfil their fixture list. And according to them, that the board felt there was a risk of Coventry City not fulfilling their fixture list in a couple of weeks' time, which in case could leave them in an incredibly precarious position. Therefore, that they said that was the necessity for them to allow the move to Northampton. My point was, back on that is, well, if you've spoken to both sides a couple of months ago and kind of ordered them to mediation, otherwise you would not sanction any move, that would have forced the issue. And their reply to that was not their job to do that. And I think it should have been their job to do that. They should have done everything possible to get this sorted out way before it got to this point. And then you'd have pushed the both sides to no alternative but to sit down and talk.
Did you talk at all about, and I'm not sure where you go with this one, but did you talk about their upward accountability, about who they are accountable to in terms of what they do? I mean, obviously the fans is who they would say they're accountable to.
I did.
But they're not, are they?
I actually asked them about their sources of revenue, which of course is a levy on the gate, broadcasting rights and sponsorship. And each of those, if you think about it, is related to fans. Obviously, gate receipts of fans. Broadcasters only pay money so fans will pay subscriptions or license fees, and three, sponsorship is only there to get fans and people interested. If you do not have fans in the game, there is no money, and the Football League doesn't seem to get that. They didn't seem to get that, and. As you know, I'm a Wimbledon supporter, and some of my frustrations about Wimbledon kind of creeped into yesterday, because it's so annoying that still, after all the problems we've had with some football clubs, that the Football League still seems to kind of ignore the fans. One of the things I did do yesterday is because I told them that according to the fans, the broadcasters, us politicians, we don't feel that they've had any dialogue with the fans. I've invited them to a public meeting in Coventry, and they said they will get back to me on that. I was actually went straight back at them and said, I'm actually disappointed that you're not accepting this offer straight away.
Yeah. I mean, did they give you any idea of a timescale for that? Because obviously,
but my office will be on to them every day.
Just to see if you can get this done. I mean,
exactly, because why wouldn't they want to come and speak to the fans? Why wouldn't they? Surely that's detrimental to them. It shows them up.
Did they give any indication of how long they're going to let this go on? Because we've obviously initially they're talking about a 3-year deal. We found out since that it could be up to 5 years, because that's the option that's there between Coventry City and Northampton Town. And I just wondered, did they give any sense of how long they were going to let this ground share go on?
No, they obviously mentioned there's a 3 and there is a possible 2. We did ask about the plans for the new stadium, what they know about them.
Yes.
And they didn't really know much. One of the things that was said yesterday is that according to the Football League, the new stadium doesn't actually have to be in Coventry per se.
Okay, go on.
It could be in North Warwickshire, for example.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that was something that I wasn't fully aware of yesterday. I kind of thought it had to be somewhere around Coventry, or maybe slightly outside, but it could be a bit further.
And under what part of their rules does it say that? Then is it?
Well, it's on the basis of what is available.
Oh, okay.
What is available and so forth. And of course, we live in some of the battles that I faced in the past since I've been an MEP. We obviously live in greenbelt land, don't we, outside the city? And that's all problems, isn't it? And what I don't understand, and if you think there are bigger clubs with ground issues such as Everton at the moment, and if clubs like Everton are having problems, how are Coventry going to get planning permission, find the exact site, find the funding? Yeah, and I put these points to them, and all they would come back with, well, that's not really our issue. C2 have come to the Football League. They've shown their ideas, their plans for a new stadium. They say that in order to fulfil the fixture list, they must play at Northampton from August the 10th. I feel, coming away from that meeting, the Football League haven't done as much as they could do, and I really would want them to come to Coventry and explain that to the fans.
The public meeting is one that you're going to keep on top of and see if that can happen. Walking out of that meeting yesterday, any thoughts on, giving you dissatisfaction with what they'd said, any thoughts on where you would go to take them to task outside of their organisation? Because quite clearly within their organisation they don't have the capacity to deal with any kind of appeal, do they? So outside of the organisation, where do you go with this?
Well, where football campaigns have usually won is where you've got fans involved, and also fans from other clubs as well, because I think football fans generally know there, but the grace of God go I. Even successful Premiership clubs, we only have to think of Leeds, who went from Champions League football, to liquidation. So what we need for fans, and where Brighton were very successful in a similar situation, is where fans got together. I do think we need huge reform of ownership of football. As I said, I wasn't convinced that the Football League can administer the fit and proper person test, and I think that if we just put pressure on, as I say, we'll be calling them every day to see if they'll accept this offer. We will be, at the start of the season, handing out leaflets, getting the pressure, hopefully getting more politicians. I'll be speaking to more politicians. Incidentally, I spoke to a German politician a few days about this situation, and they were amazed that in the country that gave the world football, that we're struggling.
Nikki, we're going to leave it there. We'll be in touch, and I know you'll keep us across any developments that we have on the possibility of a meeting with the Football League, public meeting with the Football League and fans in the city, which would be a fantastic development.